Hey everybody, Casey Nelson here, and today I'm going to go over the skills of the new Ashe on the PBE. There's a lot of hype surrounding the changes, and I think they're going to be for the better. So let's get right down to it as I explain each ability in depth and what that means for you going forward. So one of the newest changes and biggest ones is her passive. No longer do you toggle your Q for a slow. Her passive actually does that for you. It's called Frost Shot. So her spells and her basic attacks will slow the enemy, whether it's an auto attack or a volley or a arrow with your R, and it slows them for 2 seconds, and the higher level you are, the more the slow becomes. And the other half of her passive is that Ashe doesn't crit like other ADCs crit, as you would just get a random crit in the heat of the battle. She does crit, however, in a different sense. So her basic attacks always critically strike targets that have Frost Shot applied to them for 110% damage plus X. And that X amount will increase the more critical strike chance you have in your build. So what does that look like? Well, I have 0% bonus, but if I buy a crit strike cloak, it gives me 15%. I go back, boom, 15% extra bonus damage. Well, what if I buy Infinity Edge? It gives me 20% crit strike plus its passive. That's going to jump from 10 to 30. So the more crit you have, the higher that bonus damage goes. Now her Q, Ranger's Focus, is another big change. It has a passive and an active. And a passive is whenever you basic attack or use your abilities, either W or your R, you get stacks of focus. And we're going to actually employ the help of Scuttlebug to show you what that looks like. Now, a basic attack or a frosted arrow will give you 1 stack. Boom, 1 stack. And you can go all the way up to 5. Now, once you hit 5, you get to activate it and just throw down a huge flurry of damage for 4 seconds. Now, you can employ the active before you have 5 stacks because you still get the attack speed bonus, which does increase the more skills you have in it, and it does increase the Frost Shot slow by 20% extra for 4 seconds. It's just that if you use it when you have 5 stacks, you get the bonus flurry that does more physical damage, in my case 219. So essentially you want to make sure you have the 5 stacks before you fight. So I'm going to do Frost Shot. It's going to apply the active, and we have 3 stacks, 4, 5, and we're going to employ our Q. And so as you can see, it attacks speed steroid, and we're moving around, and we're doing more damage. Now what's kind of cool is that your volley, for every arrow that hits an enemy champion or minion, you're going to get a stack for it. So if you have a huge wave of minions, and 5 of your volleys hit the minions, you get 5 stacks right away. So let's see here. We'll hit these 3 in the back. 2 in my case, so we got 2 stacks right off the bat. Now, the way I think that changes the way she's played is you're going to want to open up with your Frost Shot and then get 5 stacks real quick and use your Q. And so, going back to her passive, I want to show you guys something kind of interesting. And you can kind of visually see how her passive works. So we'll see how much damage the first attack does without the crit, right? 155. Now I'm doing 217 every time because the dragon does have the frost active on it, and so you're going to critically strike and do that 110% plus 30% bonus damage. Now what you can do is, instead of having to auto first and then the next attack will crit strike, you can open up with your volley, apply the Frost Shot, and then your next attack is going to do that critical strike. So it should do 217 right away, right after we use that volley ability. So looking over those 3 abilities, you get a kind of a gist of how they work. Now going over E, her Hawk Shot, you no longer get money after you kill a unit. They've actually, I think, upgraded it to where it's a global ability, so you can actually check out Baron from level 1, or if they're at their red buff. And so you're still going to level it last, but what it's going to do is, I think, a higher level allow you to track their jungler earlier in the game and provide more strategy as far as, if top lane needs to stay back or whatever the case is, just having more vision on a more global scale will be better. Now her ultimate is exactly the same, no change there, so you can go ahead and snipe away. But let's go tag team these 2 and show you what it's all about. So I'm going to open up with probably what's going to happen is I'm going to arrow, open up with volley, get my stacks up real quick. 5 stacks, and then launch Q. And when your Q is up, you do more attack speed, your frost shot slows more, and so it's going to be a huge steroid. But again, 18-second cooldown, so you're probably only going to use it once in the fight, so you want to be smart when you use it. As you can see, I have 5 stacks, but I don't have Q up. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you kind of get a better understanding of her skills. I'm going to create a full gameplay and guide on how she works if you're fighting human players. So hopefully you liked it and you get a better idea of how Ashe works. I think she's going to be pretty awesome. Thanks. Bye.